Hello, this is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. A Ukrainian official has said Russian forces have taken more than 40 villages in the Donbass region as the Kremlin pushes on with its offensive in the east. But Ukraine is continuing to fight back. Anna Aslam reports.
An aide to the Ukrainian president told national television that Russia had taken control of 42 villages in Donetsk, but she said they might take them back tomorrow. Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky has denied Russia's claims that the strategic city of Mariupol had been captured. He said it wasn't over yet and he was considering both diplomatic and military strategies to help the remaining Ukrainian resistance. The United States has promised to send another $800 million worth of military assistance to the war-torn country. But the Ukrainian deputy defense minister has warned that it takes time to arrange the delivery of weapons and urged patience.
The president of the World Bank has said Ukraine has suffered about $60 billion worth of physical damage following Russia's invasion of the country. This estimate does not include the growing economic costs of the war to Ukraine. Faisal Islam has more.
The Ukraine war casts many shadows over global economics. President Zelensky told the world's finance ministers that Ukraine needed $7 billion per month until the summer to keep its services functioning, and said that the Russian blockade of its ports was having an impact on global food prices. The US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that Russia should be made to pay the cost in one form or another of rebuilding Ukraine, but the US backed Germany's caution on Europe proceeding too fast with further energy sanctions on Russia, saying it could cost Europe more than the Kremlin.
US prosecutors have charged the former president of Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernández, with conspiring to traffic huge amounts of cocaine into the United States. The US Justice Department says Mr. Hernández, who was extradited on Thursday, received millions of dollars from drug gangs, including Mexico's Sinaloa cartel. Mr. Hernández denies wrongdoing and says the charges are part of a conspiracy.
May the truth be revealed and prevail during my case. I am innocent. I have been and still am being treated in an unjust process. I want to echo some powerful words that say, injustice occurring anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Florida lawmakers have voted to strip Disney of its self-governing status in a move widely seen as retaliation for the company's opposition to a new state law limiting discussion of LGBT issues in schools. The bill will now head to the desk of the Republican state governor, Ron DeSantis, who's previously said he'll sign it into law. World News from the BBC. A US Air Force veteran who led a campaign to finance the former President Donald Trump's planned wall along the Mexican border has pleaded guilty to fraud. Brian Colfage and 3 others, including Mr. Trump's former advisor, Steve Bannon, were accused of taking donors' money for their personal use. The Arab League has called on Israel to end Jewish prayers in Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. After an emergency meeting, the Arab League chief said Israel had restricted Muslims in their right of worship, while allowing ultra-nationalist Jews to enter the site under police protection. The Portuguese authorities have formally identified a suspect in the disappearance of the British toddler Madeleine McCann nearly 15 years ago. The 3-year-old disappeared during a family holiday in the Algarve region. The prosecutors did not name the suspect, but said they were acting on the request of the German authorities. In 2020, German police revealed they were investigating a convicted child abuser in connection with the girl's disappearance. A research team led by the University of Cambridge says they have undertaken a huge archaeological dig of cancers in the UK. They say genetic analysis has unearthed new clues that will ultimately help improve diagnosis and treatment. More from our health reporter, Smita Mundasad.
Most cancers begin when changes to genes make cells in our bodies grow and multiply uncontrollably. In the largest study to date, researchers analysed the complete genetic makeup or whole genome sequences of thousands of tumours from more than 12,000 NHS patients. The data allowed them to detect patterns in the DNA of cancer, so-called mutational signatures that hold key information about how some cancers arise and potentially how better to treat them.
BBC News.